Hey, welcome back to the course. In this lecture, what we're going to do is we're going to understand about the differences between the processor core, the processor, and the microcontroller. Understanding these terms are really important in embedded systems because most of the time we use these terms in a wrong way, so which leads to lots of confusion. Okay, great. So now let's get started. All right, so to understand about the processor, the best place is always to check the official document from ARM. The ARM releases something called the Technical Reference Manual, which is called as TRM, about the processor they design and release to the market. Okay, and these documents are available in ARM's website, and it is open to all the users so that we can download it and check the details about the processor. Okay, so and believe me, this is the best place to start understanding about the processor. Okay, so now I'm directly taking you to the Technical Reference Manual of the ARM Cortex-M4 processor. All right, so in this document, okay, if you just click on the functional description, okay, section of this document, so you will be seeing this nice diagram over here, so which is nothing but the block diagram of the Cortex-M4 processor designed by ARM. Okay, and this processor clearly indicates that a processor is nothing but a processor core which is surrounded by lots of peripherals. Okay, that means the processor itself is made up of a core with supportive processor specific peripherals which is designed by ARM. Okay, so in this diagram you can see that Cortex-M4 core is surrounded by various peripherals such as the NVIC engine, the flash patch breakpoint, the bus matrix, the memory protection unit, the data watch point and trace unit, and so on. So it is actually surrounded by lots of processor specific peripherals. Okay, great. So now the question which may immediately trigger in your mind is what exactly there inside the Cortex-M4 core. So the Cortex-M4 core is actually the basic computational engine of the processor. It consists of its own register sets. Okay, it consists of the ALU where the computation takes place. It consists of the barrel shifter, it consists of the pipeline engine, various registers to manipulate the data, the special function registers to track the execution state of the core. It consists of instruction decoder to decode the instruction it fetches from the program memory, and it checks whether it is indeed a valid instruction or not. So all these components are actually the part of the core. Okay, so the processor is also called from the term CPU, which stands for the central processing unit. Okay, and this is called as CPU core. A CPU may have multiple cores. Okay, for example, the Cortex-M4 processor or the Cortex-M4 CPU consists of only one core, so that's why it is a single core CPU. Okay, great. So that's the difference between a processor and a processor core. A processor is nothing but the processor core plus the surrounding processor specific peripherals. Okay, so in this course we'll be studying some of the processor specific peripherals in detail. For example, NVIC, okay, which is there for handling various interrupts and exceptions. Okay, so we will discuss this peripheral in detail later. Okay, and we will also discuss the bus matrix of the processor later in this course. And also note that the Cortex-M4 processor talks to the external world through various bus interfaces like I-code bus interface, D-code bus interface, and the system bus interface, which we will study in detail later in this course. Now in the next lecture, let's see what is the difference between a processor and a microcontroller.